Come here now, girl.
Hello and welcome to What's Map, your one-stop shop for everything workshop. I'm BonBonB and you're very, very welcome. Right, it's Tuesday. Tuesday's request day. Today's map was requested by the creator over on Discord, and I am so glad that they did. So this is a creator that clearly shows that they really care about the map making process. Now they have got a little way to come. Yes, that little sting is going to be up in a moment. They have got a little way to come, but they have made incredible progress from a standing start. I mean, this map is way better than my first map, so there is that to remember. So yes,
it's my first map.
That's right, and it's pretty strong. There are some minor things. One, two things that we're going to pick up on pretty early on in the show. But other than that, it's a solid map. And once you've seen the show, you should have a very good game on it. Should have a very good game on BonBonBingo as well. Link is in the description. Check off the memes as we go, if there are any, of course. And of course, it's time to check off that daily reminder. Go on. That's right, hitting the like button really does support the channel, gets me seen by more people and helps me grow a little bit more every single day. Thank you for your support. Today's map is Loch Cluigean by HikariFaith. Now, Cluigean is the best I can do with my limited Gaelic, but I think it's close, possibly. There's your start square, lots of buildable space there, and look at how the highway doesn't take up barely any space in that. I like that. Good planning there, full stop. Terrain heights based on the real life location, renamed, but yeah, based on that, up there in Bonnie, Scotland. Resources are strong, if a bit blotchy, but blotchy's fine because blotchy works. And then if you have Sunset Harbour and you want to do some fishing, it's all about the anchovies. That's really a little bit of salmon right on the edge of the map, but not too much. Off to the workshop. What do we need? Well, there's no DLC required today, or is there? There's a list of required assets as well, but no one-click collection. Now, if you need some help about one-click collections, there will be a little link in the middle of today's show that will help you with that one. We'll be using Owl's North Dark theme and the realistic 1.2 LUT. There are a few settings in there as well. And I really like the way that we've got the settings in the description for the tree brush if you want to continue working on the tree. See, it's a creator that actually cares. And that is a pretty rare thing for a new creator. Many. There are some new creators who really care. There are. You're not the only one. I'm sure we've had some very recently as well. But there are also very many that are just there to make a map and, you know, upload it and show their map to the world. And many of those don't really care. They just were having some fun making a map. And there's a difference between having fun making a map and actually caring about the map being real. And that's what this creator's gone for. In the description does go to say that they have done some research in terms of the biome, in terms of the foliage, in terms of the rock work, and it shows. And it shows. Polished, not quite, but it is still it. When the work shows, it means that, hey, listen, this is good. This is a very good basis to build from. If you're looking to take on the map that is not absolutely polished to the nth degree, and quite frankly, the amount of complaints that we look, wow, look at the traffic. Wow, I don't think I've seen 3 abreast this deep on the start of map before. Not for a long while, anyway. Not without any actual deliberate stoppage of the traffic up ahead. So yeah, where were we? Yes, yeah. This is a very solid map. So based on the real life location, I have remembered to set the traffic to left-hand drive, which I'm very proud of myself for because I always forget on UK and Japanese maps. Always forget. But and obviously there are other places to drive on the left. But let's just stop there. I'm not going to go through a full list of all the places to drive on the left. Bridge. Bridge is going to get mentioned a little bit later on, but we're going to mention right here, we've got a little bit of rock clippage through the underside of the bridge there, just a little bit. It's not a huge problem. And look how pretty the old flowers are around the outside there. Nice detailing again, nice little feature area, looks nice. And again, like I say, that bridge will get a brief mention later on because factoids. Right, so yes, now as the map goes, it's got plenty of buildable space. We've got, let's say, it's 3-lane highways. In real life, this is a national road. Yeah, we're up in Scotland, up in the Highlands, and there isn't that much. There is traffic, but it's not a densely populated area around this zone. So you're not going to need, in real life, all these lanes. But of course, this is a playable map, and so we're providing the lanes to be able to handle the weight of traffic that's to be expected. I don't have a problem. I do not have a problem with that at all. And in fact, if anything, it's adding to gameplay rather than removing. If we were going for that realistic look, if we were looking to polish out the map. Oh, well, I was talking about polished maps. Yeah, there are complaints about polished maps. Sometimes maps are so polished that players don't want to play on them because they don't want to ruin them. Yeah, I know, and that is the case. Definitely not going to be the case here. There's nothing here that would really want to stop you building. There might be one or two pretty areas, but hey, listen, feature areas are feature areas for a reason. We build them to be features. Let me say, on Bonbon Island, I wholly expect people to completely demolish and rebuild my Bonbon Pichu area, but it's a feature area, and if you choose not to, if you choose to make it a feature, hey, listen, it's there. That's why I spent the time on it. Now, okay, with intersection marking tool, these chevrons are pointing the wrong way. The question is this because of me? Is this because I've set the traffic running on the left hand? Probably. That goes off into the hills. Let's follow towards the start square. So yes, I'm not going to blame the creator on the chevrons on this one, because for the first time in forever, I've remembered to invert the traffic. Having said that, I'm not entirely sure. I haven't done the research. I haven't had the time to do the research in the recording of the show. When you invert the traffic, does that invert the intersection markings? Now, if it does, then those markings are wrong. If it doesn't, then those markings are right, because then the error becomes mine. Or, alternatively, the error is definitely HikariFaith's, because they've recreated Scotland, and therefore this should be left-hand drive, and therefore I should be preempting that anyway, and so should anybody else. And therefore, HikariFaith should automatically be inverting those chevrons. Told you, there's plenty to talk about. There's always something to talk about. Anyway, yeah, so the map feels right. The biome, the mix of trees is a good mix of trees. Heading down, is this the start square intersection? I think we're at the start square. I think we've done it. Yes, there we go. You're expected to start building into the forests while we have the cleared area on the other side. I'm always a fan of just having a little bit of cleared area ready for your new town, and then you clear the area rather than just having to clear it ourselves. It's not a big deal, especially with the tree brush, where you can just, like the forest brush, you can delete. It doesn't have to be one tree at a time, and you do want to be deleting those trees. Anybody new watching the show, if you're zoning an area, delete the trees, because those trees are still part of the tree count, and they stay there. They stay underneath your building, underneath your road. But you may, if you start doing some extra detailing, if you run out of trees, because there is a tree limit, then, well, the trees are there. You can free them up. So it's always a good plan to when you're zoning an area, make sure you've removed the trees from that area. Speaking of trees, got plenty of trees down here and an elevated rail. I'm not that worried about that. I'm not checking to see the real life route for the rail and as to whether this is actually correct, because it does feel a bit luxurious over here. But from this point here where we come back to land, I feel that the rail looks suitably realistic enough for a Cities Skylines style play for this to be fine, to be absolutely fine. So yeah, no grumbles are there. Again, I don't know what's going on with the catenaries at the moment. I have catenary placer in place with the catenaries on, and yet in places I have catenaries, in places I don't. Again, do not be blaming the creator of the map for this one. This is clearly a BonBon issue, and sometimes I hit glitches and it takes me a while to work out what, because I'm not actually building. I don't have the time to spend working out what's going on. See, they're just glitching in and just disappearing, and they're gone. I don't know what's going on. I do not. If anybody then knows what's going on, please let me know. Because I'm a little bit clueless. Anything that put me in the right direction, it'll save me some time doing my fathoming. Sometimes I've actually fathomed the same thing like about 2 years later, and it turns out the same problem I had 2 years ago is the same problem I get now, but of course it's 2 years and I haven't had to think about it, and then it falls out of your brain. I am Winnie the Pooh when it comes to things falling out of my brain. Winnie the Pooh, of course, is a British version of Homer Simpson. Actually, funny enough, they do look a little bit similar, don't they? Yeah. Tempted to put graphics on the screen now. I'll just leave that to your imaginations. Anyway, yes, certainly got the same belly. Right, okay. I sound a bit like Homer and myself now, don't I? Right, I'm waffling and warbling. Yeah, the rail's fine. The rail is fine. There's no climbing up the side of mountains. There's no bumps. There's no janks. There's nothing silly going on with it. It takes a sensible route, so all credit there. Second half of the show, we'll be checking out, as always, the shipping route, the water flow, a little bit of a closer look at the shapes of the forests, because I feel that there's just a little bit of polishing with the tree painting that could be done, and also possibly a little bit of terrain polishing. But you know what? Even if there's no changes made to this map, it's still a very solid map to build on. If you're looking to do a Scottish Highland build or any other generic style of build that you feel would fit on this, you're not going to be disappointed. Just make sure you've got mass transit, because it's a mass transit map.
Do you have thousands of mods and assets and find controlling them burdensome? Did you know that the workshop has a way of helping to control your subscription? Find out more with BonBonB's collections tutorial.
And so back to Loch Cluigean by HikariFaith and the shipping routes. And we have this one running across the map where you've got a nice big shipping triangle. That is a big shipping triangle. Nothing wrong with that at all. I'm just saying it's a big one. I did notice. And then this one that heads up into the loch, and the loch is going to be filled with ships because we want lots of shipping going up here. I feel you kind of want to make, certainly got to be a fishing map. You're going to play this map, you want Sunset Harbour, even if it's just to fill your nets with anchovies. Water flow is a little bit limited, okay, so be careful, be very, very careful. Probably going to be working with water towers or alternatives to avoid polluting your subjects, or just make sure you put the one as far away as possible from the other, and you should be okay. But yes, I'd like to see a little bit of water and a little bit of motion in there would of course attract different sorts of ships, different sorts of fish. Okay, so the map, I'm loving the topography of the map. It just feels really nice. Scottish Highland map could be just crazy full of mountains, but we have plenty of buildable space, and even like just into the hills. You can actually get into the hills on this map. It feels right, which is good. Definitely good for a buildable map. We've got we have got one or two. This is the biggest of the hills, and again, it feels usable. I mean, you may not want to do too much with it, but it does feel usable. A few patches of trees on there. I feel the trees on there don't really feel true to life, but they're not too bad. I do like this over here. We didn't come this route. We have a big old switchback here. Again, this is a national road in real life. I'm assuming there would be a national road coming up this route. I don't know why the highway would be coming this way otherwise. But yeah, that is very cleanly done, very smartly done, and good standards in place there, going up into the mountains. Feel that the coast doesn't quite feel coastal enough. The shapes of the beaches are, I don't know, just a bit awkward. Just a bit awkward. But again, not a huge worry there. Now, I did say the trees were good, right? I'm liking the tree mix. The tree brush mix is good. I actually like the transition that we have between lowland trees here and going up into the highland trees. Transition is very smart indeed. The one thing I'm finding though with the map and the tree painting is the fade where you have trees. Okay, I'm all about forestation and okay, clean lines, sharp lines. You will get some sharp lines with trees. But I mean over here it isn't too bad because you can see we're going to a slightly rocky texture there. So I expect a sharpish line across those. But you'll see in a few moments time we'll go to a different area and there are sharper lines that I don't really get my head around. Liking the detail around the rocks here, this is all good. But we are using the building rocks rather than the prop rocks. So there's going to be a little bit of water glitching along the edge of all this rock work here. Doesn't look too bad actually. And of course the mossy rocks are going to be fine. But there are amongst all of those the building rocks. And the building rocks are always going to affect the water. So yeah, one or two patches where there'll be water glitching. And I do like this feature. This feature, I feel the map needed it. It gives the map just that little one thing. Just that one thing. That maps don't need too much. Don't mind the shape of this forest here. It does like break up this flatland. But again, we need like a fade or a transition, like a lower bushy tree around the outside. Something just to... It's just a bit stylized on its own there. Doesn't feel like that would be a natural formation. And doesn't look like it's anything that would have been cut by man into that shape either. So yeah, it's there's a little bit of work here and there that just doesn't quite fit with the map. But on the whole, the work is good. Right, okay, let's head back to that start square where we have an asset of the day. And we're going to... I plopped it in the cleared area because otherwise there can be trees absolutely blinking everywhere. You know. You do know, don't you? I think so. Today's asset of the day is Tulip Residences by jorge.puerta. It's a true Scottish name there, George. Georgie, now that's a Scottish name. Oh, excellent. Now, this is a really lovely asset, and I'm liking the juniper trees along the outside there, just to add it, brings it to life a bit. The factoids, because factoids. This is taken from the actual real location of the map, which is Loch Cluigean. Sorry for my bad pronunciation there. Loch Cluigean is a sea loch in Argyll on the west coast of Scotland. It's about 10 kilometres or 6.2 miles long from its head at Invercarron to its mouth on the Linn of Lorne. The loch separates the areas of Benderloch to the south and Appin to the north. The island of Eriska lies at the mouth of the loch, and the loch is bridged, told you about the bridge, at its narrowest point at Cregan by the A828 road. There we go. Tulip Residences by jorge.puerta. That is today's asset of the day, and very cute it is too. It's cute, very usable. Like it, keep them coming. So yes, yeah, my yes, it's my asthma, and my asthma makes it possible to say loch. What do you think of today's map? Is it a 1-star map? Is it a 5-star map? Is it somewhere in between? Your vote really does count. We use it at the end of the month for the Viewer's Choice Top 10. Will this be one of the top 10 maps of the month? Only you can decide. Hit the I button now in the top right corner of your screen, or the link in the description. It'll take you to the voting page where you can vote for free with a Facebook, Gmail, Apple, or a Patreon account. But what do I think of today's map? Well, aesthetically, I think it ticks all the boxes. It's quite pleasing. It is. It looks like the area it's meant to. I don't feel the trees quite make that area feel true to life, but I think the tree painting is more than adequate, and I think we just edge with the prettiness stakes into 4 stars, but only just. Detailing, there's some polishing that can be done across the map. I think the detailing, The good areas are definitely 4 stars, but on the whole, I'm going to go for a high 3 stars. More than passable, more than acceptable. Just some experience to come. Gameplay potential, I would be very happy to go for the high 3, maybe even a low 4 on this one. But again, you probably noticed we have got some mass transit roads down there. Mass transit isn't listed on the workshop, which means technically the map is going to be broken because we don't have mass transit, do we? Loch Cluigean by HikariFaith. Oh my goodness me. Can we have something British English, please? So that I don't break my throat saying it. Be very nice. Do you know what? Very good first effort, HikariFaith. Very, very impressed with that. Way better than my first map. Anyway, my first map sold anyway, so we're moving on from that one. If you're still here, we're part of the 20 and out elite. Use the word of the day in the comments. Score yourself some population points just for fun. I'll be back tomorrow with another map in the What's Map series. And I think it's actually quite a good one, if I remember rightly.